Today I want to talk about one of these right here. This is a Cox. It's from the Big Pine Lumber set. This one was sent in by a viewer, body guy, painter, hot rodder extraordinaire out of the Texas area, I think. But I think he's on the witness protection program because it goes by the name of Michael George. And I know that's not his real name, but that's what we'll call him today. He sent this one in. It's been sitting on the shelf for quite some time. Let's get into it, see what makes this one tick, and get it running. I'm Ron with Classic Model Trains. Here's something we haven't done in a while. Roll that classic intro. Well, let's take a little looky at this thing. It's dirty, of course. One thing I noticed, it's got all of its hand railings still. And one of them was like not in the hole. So I went through and I poked it all in, and it doesn't feel like it's ready to break or it's broken or it should have been broken. It's like, wow, these are really good hand railings. Underneath of it, Cox, made in Hong Kong. And then I give it the old, okay, this one is a pickup and this one is a drive. You can see the electrical, the way it's picked up right here. And then if you get in really close, you can see that the wheels cracked. This one here, what is it? So cracked. That makes me a little nervous of what's going on up in here. I believe these are traction, I think. I can see a crack right there, but I can see a traction tire on it. Unless I'm getting old and going blind. But let's see if it runs. Just to see how bulletproof these may or may not be. Well, it's not shorting out. But it ain't moving either. Aw. That is dead in the water. Does it even have a light coming on in the front? Full speed. Full send. Nothing. Voltage all the way up. Okay, well, that's all right. We'll see if we can fix it. Tools of choice we start off with Phillips standard long nose needle nose pliers. Give it a little protection here. I see some stuff underneath of it. Well, let's just start unbolting. I see the trucks are held in from these tabs on the side of the body. So we got to spread the body, and then this is probably screwed into the body, so we're not going to be able to spread the body until we get the weight out of there. That was my thought process on the whole thing. So that's just a cover and stacked up stamped steel, so it's not really heavy. Oh, it's nice that they put a little piece of foam in there to protect it. Is that going to come out? Sure is. Keep it from rattling. Now we can spread the body, pull the trucks out, twist it. Yep, and we can do the same with the back. Yes. One more. It's got a tab at the very back. Yeah, Twist it there. So we can clean this up. Toothbrush, soap and water. Get the dust off of it. And the ick. This. Oh. Sure, here's a gimbal that's on it. This is metal. That's nice. A lot of good stuff in here. It's just a rear pickup over here. Get this wire off. Not much going on here. I hope this plastic isn't just brittle. I can see that it snaps on to this. This is metal. This is really nice stuff. Just a little, get the truck, come apart right in here. There it is. Yeah, can wash that, clean these up. I want to make sure that we keep the brass wheels on the right side, the correct side. Here we are going to take this little screw out. Wow. Not that little after all, is it? Okay, this is super interesting because it kind of reminds me of the Tyco MU2s. Armature, they get rid of the drive line, they get rid of the gears, and put the worm gears right on the armature shafts. That is super cool. front of the locomotive, so I just pulled those out and didn't pay any attention whatsoever with where the brass wheels were at. That's why I was gonna turn it over like this. That's right, I got video footage of it. We've got ourselves a 5-pole motor. Oh look, that just came out because it slid in like this. Yeah, sure, and that is unhappily not wanting to turn in there. Why? Oh, because it's being lifted up by the magnetic force. Can you believe it's a 5-pole? My goodness. We got a screw right over here. This will come out. I've got a lot of guys, not a lot, some people, a few fellers. Going through that magnet. They tell me that when you remove the magnet, that it makes the magnetism go away. I want to mark this. And of course I call hoopla on that. And it's been commented to me enough that I've researched it on the Google machine, and I find that magnetism does not go away out of the magnet by simply removing it. Now, it can lose its magnetism by forcefully throwing it on the ground, dropping it. Any sudden jarring moments will make the magnetism go away. And I'll tell people this when they comment it, and I ask them to provide some proof or data, and I never hear from them again. If you guys, I'm going to put a line over here so I know which side this goes on. If you guys have got any proof of removing this magnet other than Uncle Joey told me that back when I was 6 years old, and Uncle Joey never lied to me before in my life, then, you know, I like to learn. If there's new stuff, I don't know everything. I'm just a guy with a camera. I like to take these, open them up. Yeah, there. What fell off in my hand here? A bushing. It was sitting right back here. We got our brushes in there. Brush spring. It's M shape. Drop this brush out. This brush over here's got enough stuff on it. There's an insulating piece right there so that the brushes don't short betwixt each other. Of course, it fell apart. This was laying up inside there. The brushes are identical. I got one more screw to take out because it's here. I thought that this motor would be a lot like the F3 motor I did from Cox, which is like a knockoff of the Varney and the Lifelike with the big gear on the front. And I am very, very surprised to see that this is a completely different style. I'm going to take and check this to see if it's shorted out. Horseshoe mode, continuity is what it's actually called. We're going to check for continuity from one segment to the next segment. Okay. Yes. Yes. And I do, yes. That's not shot. Bushings right here. So once again, we're going to clean it up. Odorless mineral spirits, civilian Q-tips, everything is going to be cleaned. We're going to scrub anything that's plastic. Oh, look, even the bottom of that weight's got foam in it. This is really nice so far. I hope it runs well, nicely, gooder. Plastic, everything else, metal, that we can begin reassembly. Now that we've got everything cleaned, let's start putting it back together. Now remember the screw, this is the front truck. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these, first time I've ever taken it apart. Now we're gonna start putting it back together. we're gonna try some different stuff on it. Of course, we're gonna use the super lube on the areas on the armature, but I'm gonna use this carbon conductive grease. Thought I already had some on me. I just touched, oh man. I think it's disgusting. I don't know how it gets so dirty. I'm trying to clean it up and it's actually, it's getting worse. This stuff is so bad, so bad. Oh, it's coming out of the cap. I'm gonna use the carbon conductive grease here on the axle pickups. I've been having some issues with them when you get all done with them and then they need to be like run in or something like that. And it's like, I want it to be 100% performance right there and then. And you don't take a dragster and rebuild it and then have to run it in on the drag strip. No, it's got to go like race one, go fast. So we got our armature super lube here. And we're gonna put a little taste on these bushings on the inside here. Just some. No thrust washers. Dang it. Here I was talking them up. Little right there. Oh, I see I neglected to fiberglass pencil these armature segments here, the commutators, because we want all the performance all at once. Now we can put them in like that. I've got these on backwards. So we'll put them in like this with the flanges towards the outside. So I can see the cutouts for it in there. These bushings have a flat spot on them. And the flat spot goes over here. I barely noticed it by eyeballing it. So that's what keeps the bushing from rotating. So we got to pay attention to that. So it's actually going to face the fireman's side. Flat spot right there. Flat spot there. And yes. Okay. That is more of what I was looking for right there. Little slickum here and here. I'm going to say that is sufficiently lubricated right there. You know, it always seems to be them brushes that create such a havoc. I've got like, I don't know, 22 minutes of footage that's been cut out and it's laying all over the floor right now of me messing around with those dang brushes. I tried to put them in a different way than I took them out, and being the first time I've ever done this before, it's just, you know, there's no secrets. The old guys in the shops I used to work at, they were the good mechanics because they do all the tricks and the secrets. And they'd leak one out to you every now and then. Made you a better mechanic. Well, I ain't got no tricks and secrets on how to put these in. This was the 9th attempt at getting the brushes in, and it was the bit of footage I decided I could keep because it looked like I sort of know what I'm doing. So let's get into putting those dang brushes in. They're always creating havoc for me. I guess I pulled the brushes out, or the motor out when the brushes were in. Let's try that, because what I've been doing is not been working. This was in there and it fell out before I really had a chance. Okay, it kind of stacks up like this is what it seems like to me. And I'm going to mess with it for so long that the wires are actually going to fall off. Then I'll be soldering them. Huh. Jeez. I mean, it just was so silly. Now, I gotta squeeze these to get the armature in, and then we gotta get the timing of the bushings and stuff all at the same time. It's terrible. A lot going on here, all at once. I think it's in. I think that's it. I think we did it. Put these ones in with the gears. Wowza. It's got some fingers here in the front. Put the truck on. Fold it backwards. There. So that's that. And that was... I don't even have the magnets in yet. Wonder how hard that's going to be. Oh, man. We're still not going to put that on. We're going to get these in. Line up my lines. Try this again for the 7th time. The magnet's pulling the armature out. Loosen this little feller so we can put the light back in. And that magnet it's just This guy comes in, it's gonna slide along. This is gonna go to the back. Get the wires out of the way. Yes, my God. And then put this guy in to hold the whole show together. Wow, that was just a lot to hold all at once. Came apart a lot easier than it went together. I always knew of Cox as the guys that made the gas airplanes that you fly around on the U-control string with the finger, you know, you'd start it up and the blade would hit you in the finger and it hurt like a bugger. Oh man. Obviously they started offering model trains starting in 1971, and these were rebranded Athearn things. They didn't do anything to try to hide the fact that these were Athearn ones. In 1974, Cox came out with a new line that was manufactured in Hong Kong that had been engineered, I don't know, by maybe their guys or somebody else, but it was completely re-engineered. In 1975, they began to offer the Big Pine Lumber Company stuff. They called it a Trainscapes line.
Trainscapes.
Basically what this means is that they offered like cheapy sets, mid-range sets, high-end sets, you know, if you wanted to buy it all at once or you wanted to buy it a little at a time, but it all blended together. It's like accessories for Barbie dolls, but it was accessories for your Big Pine Mountain Lumber Company. So you had an opportunity to grow your themed layout. It offered the sawmill complex with unloading dock and sawdust burner, truck and trailer with 2 lumber loads, flat car with log crane, flat car with 2 lumber loads, lumber carrier, drying shed, log dump car with 3 logs, truck and trailer with 2 logs, plus some other things. I mean, Cox was trying to be a major player in the model train market, although they showed up a little late. 1977 was the last catalog year that Cox offered model trains, and then, you know, as soon as the supplies dried up, they were gone. A lot of these items can be found in AHM's catalog. They say that Model Power bought the molds. AHM had them in their catalogs, and AHM renamed them Thunder Mountain Logging Company. Here's the insert of it right here in their 1981 catalog, I believe it was. Reading along, it said that Walthers has got some of this stuff in their lineup, and I tried to go to their website and type in Big Mountain Thunder Logging, and it gave me 27 pages of mostly nothing that I was looking at all. Their search engine, I don't know why. It's like Amazon's search engine. You ask for something, and it shows you everything else. Just annoying. I guess since we've shut down to do a little bit of brief history on this set here, let's also knock out Classic Model Train's Classic Model of the Week. Do you know who this is? If you do, throw it in the comments down below. If you don't, hang out to the end, and I'll let you know who she is. Let's get back into fixing this little GP-9 up. We're going to do all that again with this. So those 2 fingers are going to be the back. This is all upside down, and we want it to be opposite for the pickups. So these are going to go in like this, but we are going to put some conductive grease on there. 4 spots, yep, for the 4 axles. Put this on to keep everything in order. Ooh, did you hear that hot rod? My goodness. Bet you that thing was putting out a solid 40, 45 horsepower, sounded like. Snap the truck. Put the screw in. Oh, we got to put this guy in. Our electrical pickup. There, that way. Single tab towards the coupler. Our wheels are on opposite sides. That thing should be ready to go on the track. Test it out. Here's some of the joys of when you're working on electrical stuff. You know, the voltage gauge goes up and down, telling you, hey, this is doing what it's supposed to do. But if you, whatever reason, went and turned off the power supply to the track because you were doing something else, that'll throw everything off. So this locomotive probably ran because this was disconnected when I was trying it out. I think we're going to have a little better success now. And I'm even thinking that it's going to just run. Uh-oh, now it's shorting out. We are having issues. It's pulling an amp. And then the meter's just banging all over the place. It's actually going into protect. Wow. Yeah. Guess we'll hook up an external power supply to it. eliminate this truck here because we got a short taking place somewhere. Right there, that Bowser T1, and the thing has just got absolutely no power. Well, that's doing everything I'd expect for it to do. I don't understand what our problem is here. All I did was screw this to this. They're on the opposite tracks. Everything else is plastic. Hook this guy onto this guy. This should be all it needs. I was hoping that the conductive grease would take care of this problem. And so far, it hasn't. It still runs poorly. It's experiencing dirty stuff. I just vacuumed the track, cleaned everything off on the layout. And it's quiet. Stutter, 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 stutter. And I haven't cleaned the track, but I did it a week ago. Do I have to do it? I mean, look at this. I like looking at the light because you can tell when it's not getting the, any juice flowing. Unbelievable. And then every once in a while it'll just short out. Remember last week I showed you my track? This is what I get like every week. And honest, I run them. There's trains I run them when I make a video, is what I'm trying to say. Unbelievable. Somebody sent me this stuff here, but I got a nickel silver track. Wouldn't think a guy'd have to do that. Get out the old tidy track and just wipe it down. It's like, I just don't understand why it gets so filthy. Here's that shorten out thing I was telling you about. See how the voltage drops off? That means that the circuit breaker's cutting the output. And this thing's just sitting here. It'll short. And then it'll come on. I'm here, one hand's holding the camera. The other hand is doing nothing. And that's what this thing's doing. Makes it nice having this voltage and amperage so you can see what's going on with your power. And right now we're twisted to 7. Unreal. Unreal. Is it the track, you say? Well, let's take these off. Nope, it's not the track. So what's going on with that makes it short out? I just found it. I took this piece off, folded it up out of the way, and right there, that wire is touching, the red wire is touching the truck, and that's creating some havoc. Did I put that together backwards? Maybe it was standing up instead of laying down like that. I gotta look at the video again. I take this stuff apart too fast. Not paying attention. Let's see where it was at. Because I could go through and I could cheat and look at stuff that I was working on there. There it is right there. There, we've almost got the view of it. No, not really. Yep, it was standing up. I can see it right there. Dang it. It fell apart. When I was taking it apart, it fell apart and I didn't get a chance to eyeball it that close. I got to spin that around. Now it's facing upwards. Actually, you put the brush in with the spring on. See, you got your brushes in with the spring. This comes in and then you just roll it in. So all that fighting that I was having, just like that. And then there she is. Take this screw out so I can put this back on. And we're gonna have this shorting issue solved. There's just a lot going on this one. I think we're gonna have a little better performance this time. Well, except for that, I didn't clean the track. Oh my God. I was really gonna sit there and say that these coxes were, the engineering is really nice. It's just the performance of it. I think I'm gonna throw the body back on and see if that might, a little better weight might do something better for us. Well, with the body on, it did smooth it out a little bit. Now, being that it's like an entry-level type of thing, it really wants to run fast. It doesn't like creeping. A lot of these things have that gallop to them. And it can absolutely never make it through this area right here. A lot of my stuff can't. I wonder if that's switched. Those are Pico switches. Let's see how just, listen. Shh. And I always thought maybe that was my transformer doing that, because like every locomotive does it, but the amp's not fluctuating. So it just tells me that that's just the way that it is. And then if you run it like how kids run it, all out, then it, you know, seems to do better. But who wants to run it at 90 scale miles an hour? I like low and slow. This rear truck isn't turning. This one is. This one, no. Well, I'd be a little crabby too if I was dragging around my butt end. Why would it just, honest. Let's see what's going on with this. There was no reason for it. Nothing was in there, but it just feels tight. And the motor up here, it's hot. I think maybe I need to take a little rat tail file after it and clean it up just a little bit. I checked it with a gauge. Everything's fine. Nothing's rubbing against the frame. Just weird. Weird why it would do that. Just needs a little something. Something is just... It's like you can just feel it. It's bringing it around. Let's see if this makes it a little... One more. Always want that one more better. Always things to do. We're just doing a little over 5 volts. Yeah, that's better for sure. It's a little tough on him to drag an axle around, I suppose. I do like the sound it makes. And it is actually bouncing the meter a little bit. Made it through the switch this time though. I'm thinking that's probably about as good as she's gonna get. Yeah, I kind of buggered that up. That one time when it was shorting out. This is one of those things that I thought it was gonna be another quick one. The reason I was hoping for a quick and easy fix, I underestimated the engineering on this particular Cox. And it's also like Monday morning at 1 a.m. when I was doing this. I'm behind. I am late. We spent the weekend, me and my buddy Jason from high school. He's a heating guy, tin guy. He started off pushing a broom in the shop. And then years later, he ends up buying the company and he owns it now, Empire Heating and Cooling. He was nice enough to come over and help me put a new furnace in the old Teton out there, what hopefully might be the new train room. Needed a furnace. The other one was 1978. So I couldn't get new stuff for it anymore. And it went away. You know, it still run if people could sell parts for it, but they didn't. And that's what put me really far behind. I'm just trying to get this finished up so we can stay on task for Monday morning launches on these videos here. Got some new garb. I'm going to be getting some logos stitched on it. 3 different color shirts, 3 different color logos. Waiting for the shop that stitches it to give me a proof. They get busy, they get kind of behind. As that happens. Maybe the next video after that, I'll have it up. No, I'm not sure. This week's classic model, Elle McPherson. I don't know what she's famous for other than the fact that she's been on the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition 5 times. She's been on there more than anybody else ever. And she does stuff like modeling, I guess. Shout out to all the 33%ers out there. Thank you for sticking it out with me. Shout out to all of the channel members that are out there. This one didn't release early because I could release it at 4 a.m. when it's finally launched. But I don't think anybody's going to be up at 4 a.m. I got to stop underestimating some of these repairs. Some of these little things, first time you've ever seen them, are tough. They can be tough. I wonder if I'm even recording all this. I hope so. God, I'm tired. Well, let's see if I can get this thing put to bed. So, thanks so much. I'm Ron, Classic Model Trains. Bye-bye.